Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're going to take a peek at the national championship. Now, we're doing this on Wednesday, so obviously we don't know who won the games for the Final Four games, but we're going to give you the possibilities, and we actually have Five Dimes has put up numbers on all of these matchups. I've done my own numbers right there with two of these games with Five Dimes. Two of them I'm off, and part of my thinking is my numbers are off because I think the public perception, if these matchups happen, are going to be a little bit different. Let's go through the matchups, and then when I throw them out there and put the numbers out there, tell me if you guys have any thoughts. If we get a matchup of Cinderella Loyola versus Villanova, Five Dimes has it at 9.5. You guys think that number's good? Personally, I put the number at 8.
I probably would back Nova at this time. Loyola, we're talking about the roster. We talk about 5 players that are averaging double digits. But if they had to get through a physical Michigan game and then have to face Villanova 2 days later, I don't think they have the depth and talent to do that.
There's a lot of people that buy into the Cinderella story, and if Loyola wins, they're just going to continue to bet Loyola, especially when you're getting a number that high. If that matchup comes around with that number, I'm probably going to pass.
All right, we'll stay with Villanova as a winner. Villanova against Michigan. Five Dimes has it at 6. That's the exact number I put that one at. What are you guys' thoughts on Villanova and Michigan?
Michigan's got the easier path to get there. Obviously, they get to play Loyola as opposed to Villanova with the tougher school. I would give a little edge to Michigan in that regard. They've been there before, as both teams have been. If the line comes out of 6, I think Michigan's probably the right side there.
I would give a little. Both teams have great coaches, but I think the matchups with Michigan in the one-day turnaround, from Saturday to Monday, Beeline, I think right now, I put as the top coach of the 4 that's here. They're all good coaches, obviously, but I give him the slight edge with the X's and O's.
I think I have Michigan as a better team than Kansas. Michigan is a better defense than Kansas. Michigan has Maurice Wagner, the 6'10" inside guy. I would be on Michigan with the points against Villanova.
All right. Let's go to the Michigan-Kansas matchup because you started talking Michigan and Kansas there. Five Dimes has it at -1 with Kansas. I had this one a little bit higher. Again, I'm looking at, we've got a 1 seed that's not getting any respect. I had it at 3 or 3.5. But obviously, if Michigan gets here, they're, as you said, public perception would be they had the easier road. If Kansas beats Villanova, it would legitimize Kansas as a number 1 seed, and that's why I put the number a little bit higher than what Five Dimes has. I'm going, there's always the true number and where, the number's going to be where the public's going to put it at. What do you guys think if Kansas is a 1-point favorite here? You already said you like Michigan.
Yeah, I already said I like Michigan over Kansas. Plus, Johnny, Detroit hasn't been promoting me much, so I love Michigan, Johnny. Go Wolves, yeah!
Wolves. Wolverines?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had the inside.
No, again, I am on Michigan. I do.
That's his kissing ass to Johnny.
With that line, I'm probably not interested.
While we're on Michigan, real quick, guys, here in town, there's a sports book or hotel downtown, the D. It's owned by Derek Stevens. He's a Michigan native. He did it a couple of years ago with Michigan State. Made a wager on them for to win the national championship, and they got to the Final Four, I think, before they lost.
This is one of your stories, isn't it?
It is. Well, it's $1 million story, so people want to hear it. So,
all right. Would you like us to give the shortcut?
Yeah. Well, he's got Michigan. He bet $25,000 on them at the beginning, and he stands to win $1 million. Question is to you guys. Now, for him, $1 million, not a big deal. I mean, he owns the D. He loves the bet. $1 million. I'm hedging some here.
Well, it all depends on what your bankroll is. Obviously, we don't bet $1 million, so we're all hedging. But for him, I wouldn't hedge the first game. I think once they get to the championship.
See, I totally disagree because this is one of those ones where he can hedge and win both bets. He could bet Loyola.
Well, what you would do is, to me, that's not really.
Loyola on the money line, you bet $100,000. Yeah,
No, I don't play them on the money line.
I
Just
play
plus
it
the
on a
points.
point spread because you
Yeah.
can win both bets.
Yeah, you can win both bets.
If they win by 3, Michigan wins by 3, you've added to your profit and you move on.
That's the way I would.
Do put it in perspective, though. He, at the South Point, bet $10,000, $11,000 to win 10 on all 64 games. So this $25,000 out of the bankroll he bet just that one day is a very small amount. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
The last matchup that we didn't mention, Kansas-Loyola. They've got Kansas at -6 over Loyola. That's right where I had that one. You guys see any edge in that one?
I kind of like the dog here. If they can win that first Final Four game, and is what I've heard from, the George Mason coach came out and said when they did that same run a few years ago, that the final game, the Final Four, is changed so much because you're on such a schedule. You're in the locker room, you're here, you don't get time to do the things you did before. If they can get out there for that first game and win that first game, I'm a believer when they go up against, if they go up against Kansas.
I like it to go against Kansas coming off of beating Duke and beating Villanova. Mentally, even though it's a national championship, if you just beat Duke in overtime and you just knocked off Villanova and now you draw Loyola, mentally you're going to feel like, oh, we just caught a major break.
It's a championship game.
It is a championship game. Talk to Kansas State. They were playing for a Final Four appearance, and they definitely did not show up on Saturday after the Kentucky win.
That's quite a difference.
Yeah, we're talking about a team that wasn't going to make the tournament to get to number 1 seed. So.
All right, guys, good stuff. And, hey, it's Monday, the championship game. Don't forget, each and every Tuesday at WagerTalk, it's $2 Tuesday. We pick one capper. We take the hottest guy. We offer his best bet, and we give it to you for just $2. It's a great day, great way to introduce yourself to a new capper or jump on board one of your favorites. It's red hot. Check it out each and every Tuesday. Johnny decides who is the $2 capper. Find out next Tuesday who it is and get that best bet for just $2. Once again, if you like these videos, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be sure to share it with all your friends. Back next, baseball preview.